Now I know. Hello and welcome to my channel, Body Talk. So glad that you decided to stop by. I really appreciate your support, and we're just going to get right into it. The topic for this video is, do you know your A1C? Some of you may be familiar with what an A1C is, and many of you may not know what an A1C is. But whether you know or don't know, it's important that everyone does. So the A1C is a diagnostic tool or test that will determine whether someone is pre-diabetic or a diabetic. So pre-diabetic, not conclusive. Your sugars may be elevated above normal range, but not quite in the range where you can be determined a diabetic, or that you have diabetes. This test is very important for anyone because sometimes diabetes doesn't present with symptoms and you can, carry on with your normal activities and going about your life and develop diabetes in adulthood and you're not aware of it. So it's really important to at least have some blood work done and check your sugars. There are two things, and specifically those who have diabetes would know about this, or at least most people do. But if you don't, you're in the right place. So diabetics, generally, they will test their blood sugars, usually daily, in the morning, a couple of times a day. And when they check the blood sugar, you can get, a reading on where your levels are. There is a range that will help one decide or determine whether they're in a normal range or whether they're outside of the range. And so the topic in this video is to discuss the blood sugar level elevation. There is such a situation where the blood sugar levels being too low is an issue as well. But right now we're talking about sugar levels that are elevated. And so if your blood sugars are elevated, the A1C is a test that can make that determination. And the A1C is really important because it's the best indicator, a little bit more of a conclusive indicator of when person or whether a person has diabetes or not. The reason why this test is recommended is because it measures the blood sugar level of a person over an average of 3 months. So over time, it will yield an average of where that person's blood sugar level or how much sugar is in the blood over a continuum of 3 months. Whereas a person that checks their blood sugar level by a glucometer at home or maybe get it done at the doctor's office, that's a reading for that day. Those readings may fluctuate. It is ideal that if you're one that's checking your sugars or whoever may be checking their blood sugars, you want to try to keep a log for reporting to the doctors and for yourself so that you're able, because this is one way you can manage your diabetes. If your sugar levels are too high, too low or normal, it's a great way to manage your diabetes and stay healthy, to prevent other problems and diseases that can occur as a result of blood sugar levels being consistently high. It is important to continue to check your blood glucose levels at home as well. The A1C is not meant to replace that monitoring that you're doing daily. This is in addition to the monitoring that you're doing at home. Also, the A1C, it's a real simple test. And basically, the doctor will extract, or the lab technician will get a sample of blood from you via a finger prick or from the arm. There's no prep required. You don't have to do anything in particular to prepare for the test. Also, after the test, if it is determined that it's positive, it is recommended that you retest to confirm the results. And also, if in fact your results of positive diabetes is confirmed, it is important for you to contact your doctor, schedule a planned visit to discuss what the plan of care will be based on whatever your reading was. So generally with the A1C, they can give results in an estimated average. The numbers that you want to be aware of is it could either be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And depending on your results, it will either be a normal reading, a pre-diabetic, or diabetic reading, meaning you're either not positive or will be positive. Of course, the lower end is the preference or the goal. So if you have a 6, that's the goal that we want, and you want to try to maintain that. If your numbers are on the high end, 8 and 9, then you'll need to have, again, that discussion with your healthcare provider to see what you're doing currently, and then to try to draft up a plan of care to make some adjustments to get that A1C lower. Now, the goal will be different for each person who has diabetes, because people have challenges. Some people have a higher concentration of sugar in their blood than others, which is going to obviously reflect in a higher reading than the next person. So, for example, if someone has a blood sugar of 250 every day, but they're not symptomatic, that kind of is established as their normal, even though it's above the normal range and it's a little higher than the doctor would want. This range may be accepted or acceptable by the healthcare provider because maybe this particular person at one point had a higher blood sugar level. Maybe it used to be at 300, and so it's progressively improved and the number is lower. I want to leave you with the fact that diabetes is considered a chronic illness, which means that it is long-term. It will be with you always, but it is manageable. So it's important. The first step is to get tested and to continue to monitor if you don't have it, to make sure that you take measures to prevent it. And if you do have it, you want to continue to monitor to make sure that your blood sugar levels are stable. When the blood sugar level is elevated consistently, it can cause some damage, nerve damage. It can cause damage to your eyes, visual changes. It can cause neuropathies. That is a result of nerve damage, the sensation when the nerves you're losing sensation gradually over time. A person with diabetes may experience tingling in the fingers and the toes, and that's a very painful condition. Also, the blood sugars are not brought under control and they get too high. Some of you may be familiar with the fact that people can go into a diabetic coma. Also, the kidneys and the heart can be adversely affected as well. So it's very important to get tested, to see where your sugar levels are. If they're too high, you want to work with your healthcare provider to create a plan to bring them under control and to manage them. And remember to get your A1C checked periodically, maybe once or twice a year if possible. All right, take care. Again, if this content was beneficial to you, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, click the notification button for other videos that are forthcoming. Thank you. I appreciate you. And remember, when the body talks, listen, because your life depends on it.